Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back, and today we're going to be covering the Gambit Pinnacle Machine Gun 21% Delirium. Now this is a fairly long grind like most Pinnacle weapons. This review should help answer the question of is it worth it or not. We'll discuss what it's really good at, what it has trouble with, and a lot more. There is important information about its main perk, and the number 21% does come up a lot with this machine gun. Once you pick up the quest from the Drifter, it asks you to complete the Notorious Hustle Triumph. This requires you to earn multi-kills of 5 or more. You need 75 of those. You need to reset your Infamy rank. And then Envoys and Primevals defeated. I believe the Envoys are worth half a point and a Primeval is worth a full point, so it's a very small percentage. So this, along with resetting your rank, is going to be the time-consuming aspects. Remember to get damage on the Envoys whenever they pop up. And every game you won't win, so you won't be able to down a Primeval, so it can take a really long time to get this one done. The Delirium is the first rapid-fire frame in Destiny 2. That frame comes with deeper ammo reserve, slightly faster reload when the mag is empty. It's also made by Suros and it does arc damage. It comes with polygonal rifling for increased stability. Extended mag, it gets the base magazine to 102. Its first perk is Overflow. Picking up a special or heavy brick reloads this weapon beyond normal capacity. And then its main perk, Killing Tally. Kills increase this weapon's damage until it's stowed or reloaded. So let's first start off with Overflow. With this perk again, you run over a heavy or special brick to bring the magazine over normal capacity. For it to give you the big magazine, two things need to happen. Number one, you need heavy ammo in your reserves, so that ammo can be thrown into the mag. And two, you need to be able to accept special ammo or heavy ammo. Obviously, if your heavy ammo is full, you already have a full mag, it won't accept anymore, so you don't really have to worry about that. But there are times where your special ammo will be full, and Delirium can't take a brick for the Overflow perk. So for you to overflow the Delirium, you need to bring out your special weapon because it's full, spin a round, then you're able to accept the brick, and when you do, it will overflow the heavier reserves back into the mag. The overflow is substantial. With a backup mag, it goes from 115 to 230, and a base magazine from 102 to 204, so it doubles the magazine. And here's a couple more things about overflow before we get to its final perk. You limit yourself if you run double primary. I've been using my Recluse a lot in PvE and pairing it with a blast furnace, but the spectral bricks just don't come. So be sure to have a sniper, shotgun, a fusion on you. The heavy bricks will fall, but you need those special bricks more frequently. The second thing is to have taken armaments on. If you can, this is where you have a chance to grant heavy ammo directly to your reserves if you defeat taken with a grenade. That's really nice. The third is going to be some perks to consider. One of them is machine gun reserves. Those are found on your helmet and class item. Remember, machine guns got a reserve nerf, so these really help. The base reserves are at 389. With one perk active, it goes to 423, and two perks, it's 458. So definitely consider these, and the last one is going to be found on the helmet. It's heavy lifting. Gain bonus super energy for heavy weapon kills. You're going to be doing a lot of this, so I strongly recommend this one. The main perk, Killing Tally, kills increase this weapon's damage until it's stowed or reloaded. This perk works differently on different enemies. Remember, machine gun damage against bosses and mini-bosses has been reduced by 21%. And this is also the first time 21% comes up in relation to the 21% Delirium. So it will work differently on the enemy that you're facing. So when you're facing adds, the base damage is 933. When you get Killing Tally times 1, it goes to 1,135, a 21.65% increase. And this is the second time 21% comes up, but times 2 is going to be 1,337, 43%, and then times 3 is 1,538, a 65% increase. Strikingly similar to Rampage, you shred through adds, but the tone changes a little bit for higher tier enemies. For bosses and mini bosses, it's scaled way back, and you can really feel that 21% reduction. So in this Lost Sector at base, it does 525 to the night. A times 1 stack goes to 569, so an 8.38 increase. With a times 2, 612, 16.57%, and then times 3, you're at full tally. It goes to 656, 25%, so nowhere close to the original 65% it grants from those weak enemies. So it's important to know that going in. And now at this point in the review, we can talk about if you should run a backup mag or a boss spec or possibly a major spec. With the boss spec, the numbers to the night is base 566, then 613, 660, and kill tally times 3 is 707. So if we're able to take into account the 3 rounds it's going to take to get Killing Tally times 3, the rest of the magazine would be for the damage. So if you have a boss spec, you'd have 201 rounds. That would be 142,107 damage. But with a backup mag, no boss spec, you have 227 rounds. Your total damage would be 148,912. The extra rounds outweigh the buff from the boss spec or a major mod. Granted, you won't land all headshots, you're going to hit the body every now and then, but those are the numbers. I personally use a backup mag for the 230 rounds. The second part of the perk, at times 3, it's going to stay there as long as you want, as long as you don't reload or stow the weapon. And what's really nice about the Delirium is the only time you really have to reload is after you spin your mag on a single target, because otherwise you can run over bricks and it will refill it, heavy bricks. Even when you have 0 ammo, you run over a heavy brick and it instantly reloads it. So in theory, you can get the mag to 230 with a backup mag, you can run through 100 rounds, find a special brick on the ground, and get right back to 230 if you have heavy ammo reserves to throw over. As far as stowing it, you can use it with supers, only some of them though. Some do and some don't. You could pop a well and have killing tally times 3, it'll still be there, but if you pop something like a golden gun, and if you had that stack, it's going to be gone. So each super is going to be a little bit different. Also, even things like pulling out your ghost, because in theory that stows the machine gun and the perk's going to go away. So pretty much when you have it out, you're going to be using it. Now let's get into how it performs. The background footage is a perfect example of its application. Notice the percentage on the multi-kills in the Reckoning. This is a PvE weapon, and its job is to clear ads, plain and simple. Reckoning, Gambit, Strikes, Raids, all of it, it's there for ads, and the Delirium is a top option for that. And the Pinnacle Gambit theme has kind of been how that has been working. We had Breakneck, which is really good. It's kind of a similar perk set with Delirium as far as ad clearing, so they pair really nicely together. We went over the boss damage, and it's just okay. You do have true sustained damage with it though, with the 200 plus rounds. You just hold the trigger and go. It will do better than a surrounded spec Hammerhead. As far as Thunderlord, it does have lightning rounds, but it does take up an exotic. And once the Delirium gets to a ×3 tally, the ads are a 1-shot or 2-shot, and you have 230 rounds. Seamlessly go enemy to enemy, literally spraying them all down. When a major pops up, you generally have that ×3 due to the ad clearing beforehand. It's the same thing. You just get on that target, mow them down. And I want to bring it up again, the importance of heavy lifting when you're using the Delirium. And that's kind of another way to look at it. In these big areas, it's a huge super booster. And think about those encounters, areas and strikes, day-to-day activities, sections of the raids. The Delirium can be an option, but when you do, you're going to have to pair it with something like Izanagi's Burden. There are other options, Ace of Spades, Wrist Runner, Polaris Lance, list goes on. And remember, try to have a true special weapon because you need those special bricks to drop. And when you run this machine gun in a fire team, you're on ad clear duty. And believe me, if you set yourself in that role, you're going to do great. However, it does take away that ward cliff, that whisper. Your boss damage is going to come from your supers, it's going to come from modifiers, and a heavy hitting weapon like Izanagi. Otherwise, you're going to have something like, let's say, a blast furnace, and possibly like a triple tap sniper rifle, which is okay. And then of course, you're going to have the machine gun to spray them down. One thing we haven't really discussed is how stable it is for 900 RPMs. You would think that this would be kicking all over the place, but that just isn't the case. If you do decide to do some boss damage or major damage, it shoots pretty true. It has a 60 recoil direction stat, and it's kind of a laser, to be honest. It's surprising. If it's going this well on console, I can only imagine how it is on PC. There is one thing though. After your first initial trigger pull and you get out the first couple of rounds, those rounds seem to have high recoil, but then it really levels out. I'm sure there's some D1 vets out there, and as you're holding down the trigger, it's almost like you have the old perk, Persistence or Rodeo, which now I guess would be Dynamic Sway Reduction, but still, it's stable for what it is. Surprisingly, you can be precise with it at even some longer ranges and do some damage on some of the higher tier enemies. It is mostly for ad clearing, but it is there for damage if you need it to be. In PvP, here are the numbers, and it's based off 5 resilience or more. The base critical is 24 damage. That's a 9-shot kill, so the TTK is 0.53 seconds. 0.53 is the same time to kill as Thunderlord, Hammerhead, and Avalanche, so all the machine guns are the same. With killing tally ×1 though, the headshot damage goes to 25. It's now an 8 headshot kill. This is going to be our only TTK change. The TTK is now 0.46 seconds. With a ×2 tally, the damage goes to 26. It's still 0.46. And with ×3, the critical goes to 27. It's still 0.46. So after the first kill, the TTK is slightly faster, but remember you have to keep it out and at least keep the ×1 stack. Otherwise, if you store it, you're going to lose it. It's decent, it's not a bad option at all in the Crucible. But in conclusion, the 21% Delirium is a great machine gun. Being that it's the only 900 RPM, who knows if we're going to get a 900 RPM machine gun next season, but the stats like the stability, the perks like Overflow, and killing tally like the Delirium has, it puts it over the top. If you enjoy Gambit, definitely go get this and work towards it. And honestly, if you're playing the Reckoning and you want the armor, even if it's for the looks or if it's for the enhanced perks, you're eventually just going to kind of chip away at this thing. So definitely go out and work towards it. However, if you really don't like Gambit, you're going to be okay without it. With that being said though, to be clear, it's a very good tool to have in your toolbox. I take it everywhere. It's a very solid option in PvE, more so than other legendaries. Especially for Gambit and the Reckoning, it's a dream to have. It works so well for that. So I can imagine with later on content, with seasons, with new activities, the Delirium is going to be perfect for it, and I can say that because we know what it's really good at right now. But if you have Breakneck, if you have a good Rampage weapon, those are kind of similar. They're really good at clearing ads. So it's a tough call. I do like this machine gun though, and that's why this review is here, so you guys can make a decision. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for your continued support. I would like to know your thoughts on the 21% Delirium. Do you have it? If not, After seeing this review, what is your stance on getting it? Thank you guys for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.